consciousness, we're talking, of course, about a higher level of elevation, more enlightenment, or more awakened, culturally, spiritually, politically. In this case, we mean politically and culturally awakened consciousness. Okay, so basically there are obviously different stages of consciousness. I'm not going to go through a full breakdown through a person's life, but obviously you go from a point that you may first learn about something to a point where you are fully, you're more developed and making a contribution to your people. You're utilizing what you know in your everyday life and able to incorporate it in things that you do. So anyway, in the middle, or once you first become awakened, or once you first become enlightened, conscious, of course, people go through what I call the roots syndrome aspect of it, or the roots portion, where you're going to be angry. Okay, and this anger is obviously going to, it works itself out different ways: hurt, despair, and or some people hang on to that anger. We call those people militant, even though that's not a good definition of what an African organizing militant or revolutionary militant, but a militant, call them, that's the person that they get angry off of roots and they stay angry. And I say roots, I just mean they learn their history, learn what has happened to them, they see the situation that we're in, the circumstances we're in, and they get angry, and they stay angry about it. Then you have a person that they either hurt or despair. Like, they may see the situation we're in, and then they, how can I say, they'll the hurt, they get hopeless, despair. You know what I'm saying? They upset about it, and then at the same time they don't think we can do anything about it. And so you have a few people that end up doing that, and then of course you have the people that become more proactive. Either take the stance of, well, I'm going to just think about myself. Some levels of hurt with that. They don't think about themselves, or they go ahead and go to high levels of action for their people, be it like an NAACP activity level, or, well, I was going to say NAACP, I say like, say if someone's a lawyer, they get knowledge of themselves. You got A. Philip Randolph, Thurgood Marshall, Johnny Cochran. You see what I'm saying? You have this caliber lawyer that can do something for their people when they're knowledgeable of themselves. So just saying, anybody can take. We have different people with different professions, what have you, that have done things with their people, for their people with the knowledge of self. Okay, with this consciousness, so-called. So anyway, one of the first things, of course, that someone, when they first get something, they want to show it to people. It's just like, you get anything brand new. Same thing relates to, if we want to go out and we're zealots, we want to tell everybody, we want to, we stop eating pork, so we start wanting everyone to stop eating pork. I'm just using pork as an example, you know what I'm saying, because a lot of us, some of our first levels of knowledge comes with our diet, but then some people, you may only read Elijah Muhammad's How to Eat to Live, so you understand that the hog has one vein, it has the trichinae worms in it, this type of thing. You go and say, well, Brother Elijah Muhammad said in the book How to Eat to Live, how we shouldn't eat hogs or swine, it's a filthy animal. You know what I'm saying? And the person may say, well, we've always been eating this and da-da-da-da-da. And then one of the things that happens is you may have to read How to Eat to Live Part 2. You may have to read Queen of Fools books. You may have to read Dr. Laila Africa. You may have to read, Nutricide and African Holistic Health to further understand things about the swine, or further understand the meat industry itself, or further understand the food processing industry itself when you begin to talk to people. So it's different stages of consciousness inside of the, the knowledge realm but of course when you first get a hold of it, you start running and telling people, and you may not necessarily know more about it, but that's good. But as a struggler, instead of saying, oh well they sleep, oh well they don't want to know anything, no, you just need to go back and get more information so you can go and bring them back more information besides Elijah Muhammad said, even though Elijah Muhammad is a very good source. You have comrades and you have friends, and you must understand how they can be the same, one and the same. And of course you have family, comrades, your friends, and your family. So you got you have comrades and your friends. I don't want to use necessarily business, and then you got friends, but same type of situation. You got different relationships you have with people. Organizational structure, of course, you have people that are people in the organization. Then you have the people that are really active inside the organization. Then you have people that are just in it, and if they're not necessarily volunteer for anything, but if you give them certain duties, they're going to perform their duties. Then you got people who volunteer, and you got people who are very, very active. Then you have people who aren't in the organization, but whenever you need some help or you need any other type of resources, they will help you. Those are supporters. Then of course you have people that are not supporters per se, but they just heard of the organization. If y'all coming around doing something, they know, they come around and pass out food, or they know that you come around. If somebody the police be on somebody, y'all gonna come around and say something about it. So they will definitely be in your corner to help you when you do those types of things. People that the organization has influenced. Then you have supporters, then you got the people inside the organization. So just saying, the organization or this level of consciousness, because I'm using them interchangeably, consciousness and the organization, because just as you come into a certain way of thought, you come into this new enlightenment, everybody's not going to be very active in that enlightenment. Okay, then there's some people who are only going to be supportive in the enlightenment. Then there's people who, I know what enlightenment is, I'm not trying to do all that right now, I got other things I'm trying to do. So it's all that you're trying to do when you become conscious. You're trying to, one, get yourself more conscious, but then you're also trying to elevate others. And so there's no reason to ever, and when I say elevate others, I mean that because there's no reason to alienate yourself. There's no reason to come into an organization trying to leave your family, You may have different family problems with friends. You got different people that come from all different types of backgrounds. Then they come into the organization, trying to make a clique and these type of things. And since we're here to organize the masses and we're here to elevate, the masses, obviously we're not trying to form any cliques. We're not trying to make, we're not trying to alienate other people. We're not trying to say I'm conscious, I'm more conscious, I'm this conscious, and you are this. We're trying to eliminate all types of class structure, even if it's just social status class. When you understand that we're in a generational struggle, meaning we're doing this struggle in phases. Not only its phases, it takes place in parts, but not only that, it takes place from generation to generation. So not only are you here to affect your youth, but you're also here to affect other youth. You may have nieces and nephews. So why alienate yourself from your family or your friends and this type of thing when you have a younger generation that you can teach about Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, get on the facts and the knowledge of themselves at this age? You see what I'm saying? Even if you belong to different organizations, we're trying to work with each other to uplift our people. So just saying, it's all different types of strategies. There's never a reason to want to alienate yourself, get angry towards any other person as you're developing in your consciousness, because you weren't always necessarily that way yourself. Now everybody's going to come into it different ways. It takes different knowledge for different people. Some people who are more attracted to spirituality. Some people are more attracted to politics. Some people are more attracted to culture.